Hey guys, my name is Mavi and I've spent the last 14 years in the plastic surgery and beauty industry, working alongside top board certified plastic surgeons. In that time, I've helped thousands of women in their surgical journey. My passion to educate and help women feel empowered is what led to what we now know as the Big Butts, No Lies podcast. Join in on the fun as I talk to plastic surgery experts, friends, and real life patients about all things plastic surgery. Should be fun.
Hey guys, do I have the episode for you? I can almost not even contain my excitement because this is the episode where I finally get to talk to y'all about the membership. I've been working on the membership and I think you guys can pretty much say that it's my baby. It's my brand spanking new baby. And I cannot wait to just nurture it and grow it and turn it into a masterpiece, if I do say so myself. Anyway, I am so excited to talk to y'all about it. So the membership I was trying to find a way that I could help coach you guys through your surgery journey. And I feel like this is the best way for us to be able to build a community where we can talk to each other a little bit more, even more than what we talk to each other on Facebook already, because I feel like sometimes the Facebook groups can get a little bit overwhelming. And I've experienced it recently with some of the girls that I'm coaching, that they are just comparing themselves so much to what they're seeing in the Facebook groups that when they don't see it or they don't feel it, for example, one, she felt like she wasn't in enough pain. If you believe it or not, hey girl, I know you're listening. Yes, I'm talking about you because it's just so funny to me. She was like, I'm not in as much pain as these other girls that I see on the Facebook groups, as much pain that they're in when we're around the same time post-op. And I'm like, okay, but there's so many factors that go into that. For example, what is their pain tolerance? What kind of procedures did they have done? Like, for example, she only had a tummy tuck. She's thin. She didn't need any liposuction to her back. So she only had a tummy tuck and flank lipo. And I'm sure not a lot of women are in her boat. It's not often that you see somebody who doesn't need to be flipped and do back lipo. Anyway, when you do back lipo and flank lipo, it's so painful. Y'all know it feels like you are just a big walking bruise. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to scare y'all. No, it's not really like that bad, but yeah, it is. It is. You're in pain for a little while. You're sore. You can't even sit properly. You're kind of just like a big bruise. So because of that, I wanted to, with the membership, create something where I can guide you guys and provide like expert information. For example, I am teaming up with nutritionist.plastic surgery on Instagram, and she is amazing, you guys. She's actually the first episode that I am releasing on the membership. I'm going to be releasing exclusive to the membership episodes. So for the membership, it's $25 a month. Super affordable. You spend that on a lunch and you get full access to me. You can text me, you can email me, you can call me, or you can set up a meeting for me to talk to you. And we can really like go through every single step because I'll be holding your hand the whole way. I hope to grow this membership I have it in my manifestations, you guys, that Big Butts No Lies will have a web of qualified, educated coordinators across the globe to help women all over have access to safe plastic surgery and not get taken advantage of. So hopefully we can grow the membership and we can go all over the world. I can have coordinators everywhere. Oh my God, I have such big dreams for this membership because I know that you guys need the help and there's women out there just like me who want to help. So I'm so excited about the membership. Well, through the membership, I am going to have my girls do some exercises to help them kind of through their journey. One of those things is going to be writing themselves a letter. And when I was thinking to tell my girls to write their letter, I thought to myself, man, maybe I should have written a letter to myself because I didn't get to do this. You guys, y'all are on my personal growth journey. So I'm learning and y'all are learning with me. So this letter, I thought, well, what would I write to myself 3 years ago before I started my journey? So I wrote down, a few of the things that I wish I would have known back then that I know now. And I want to share it with you guys because I know that a lot of you guys are still on the other side of having had your procedures. And I know this isn't for everybody, but a lot of us, we do kind of cling this hope on, oh, once I have this surgery, like everything is going to work out. Everything's going to be fine. And I myself thought that before in my life. I thought, oh my God, after I have my surgery, like I'm going to feel back to myself because I had my first pregnancy. I gained like 20 pounds by the end of it. I lost a lot of weight because I was just so nauseous. I could not eat. I had terrible morning sickness that just lasted all day. So I was not really able to gain that much weight. I gained like 20 pounds and I was able to snap back pretty quickly. And with my second pregnancy, that he killed my stomach. Like he stretched my stomach out so much that even when I lost the weight, like I just had all this leftover skin that I knew I needed a tummy tuck. So back then I thought, oh my God, after I have my surgery, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to feel better and everything's going to be fine. And okay, so I did have my surgery and a lot of the stuff that I thought would improve did improve, but some other stuff that I hadn't even thought about didn't improve. And then I was like, oh, okay. So this wasn't a magic wand that just solved all my problems. Absolutely not. So since then, been on this like self-discovery, like journey of personal growth where I'm trying to just grow be a better person, be a better mom, be a better human. Like those are my priorities. So I wanted to share with you guys just because I was thinking, what would I have written to myself back then? Like, oh my God, what would I have told myself? Honestly, if I went back to my life 3 years ago, to me, and like, I'm trying to visualize myself. Okay, let's all do this together. Like, let's visualize ourselves 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, my son was 3. Okay, so maybe 4 years ago, maybe my journey's been going on longer than that. But okay, let's imagine ourselves 4 years ago. What would you tell yourself back then about where you are now? So I'm thinking, oh my God, I could tell myself. So Mavi, 4 years ago, I was a patient coordinator at the Oaks Plastic Surgery. I was going through a divorce. Was that at the beginning of the pandemic? It was right before the pandemic. So a lot of things were happening to me happening in my life, not to me, in my life at that time. So I wish I had known back then that I needed to do a lot of work on myself, a lot of inner work. And as I say that, I also realized that if I had told myself back then, hey, what does it mean to do the inner work? What does it mean? What if I went back there and told myself, Mavi, like the one that was in the office, barely had time to do anything outside of work other than be with my family or work. I was very busy with work. If I had told her, hey, you need to do the inner work, she would have been like, huh? What inner work? What are you talking about? I'm perfectly fine. I'm busy. I have a lot of work to do. Okay. So what would I have told her? The inner work. What does it mean? So I thought the same thing. What am I going to tell you guys? I'm going to tell y'all to do the inner work, but what does doing the inner work mean? So of course, I am not a professional. This is just my life experiences and what has helped me in my journey. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is we're not chasing perfection. Remember, we're only enhancing our natural beauty. And a lot of that inner work comes with enhancing and growing as people. The first thing I did was I went to therapy. Now, therapy, I think in our culture, especially in my Hispanic culture, has such a negative tone to it. Like if people think, oh, you're going to therapy, estás loca. Like they're already thinking that you're crazy. Something's wrong with you. But I'm here to tell you that there is absolutely nothing wrong with going to therapy, talking to a professional. It will change your life. It changed my life. And my therapist she actually came as a recommendation from a friend who was seeing her. And you guys know how I love like getting a doctor referred to you is the best way like to know that they're good. So I reached out to her. Amazing. FaceTime. The next obstacle people think is it's expensive, right? For therapy. Well, for her, like you can sign up for a bunch of different things. There's BetterHelp. There's a whole bunch of websites that help you to get to therapy. But for her, it was through FaceTime. And I would actually, because I'm blessed and lucky enough, thank you, Mom, to know Spanish. So I'm bilingual. And my therapist is actually in Mexico. And she FaceTimes me. We have our hour-long meeting where she literally just cures me. I'm kidding, but it really does feel like that. Every time I talk to her, it just feels like I have a weight lifted off my shoulders. So through therapy, I learned a lot about why I did things, why I made certain decisions, why I chose to be around certain people. She helped me really understand myself and understand that it's okay to make mistakes and that you don't have to be perfect, that you don't have to suffer to try to pretend like your life is perfect when it's not. So with her, she helped me a lot. The second thing I did was I started to change my habits. So for example, going to sleep early and waking up early. So I go to sleep usually like super early, like at 8, and I wake up early, like at 6, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the latest I'm out. I got to be out. Okay. I changed my relationship with food. Changing my relationship with food was such a big deal because in my culture, like you better eat what's in front of you. If they serve you a plate, you better finish your plate. And I've been hearing that my whole life, to finish my plate, to finish my plate, to finish my plate, my whole life, that I still as an adult was doing it. I was still finishing my plate, even though I wasn't hungry. I would make myself finish my food because then I feel guilty for throwing food away. Terrible guilt for throwing away food. So then I would just eat it. So I really had to change my relationship with food and why listening to my body when I'm eating and understanding when I'm full and when I'm just eating because of boredom, or am I eating because I'm hungry? Okay, so that was really important. The other thing I did, these are just things that I did that helped, I think have helped me change my life. I started, even though I was already doing it before, I was dressing up for work. When I started working from home, I started to, of course, wear like home clothes. And there's just something about staying in home clothes all day that makes me feel like I didn't really accomplish anything. And I know that's all part of that hustle culture, but like, I feel it. Like, I feel like what did I do today? You know, so I do really enjoy getting up and getting myself ready in the morning. In the morning, I'll take my kids to school. So I'll wake up and I do hit up the carpool line with a ponytail, like my face all swollen still from my pillow and my pajama pants and top. I will show up in the carpool line like that. But once I get back, I take a shower and get ready for my day. And I tell myself I'm going to clock in at 9. In my mind, I have this like mentality, like, okay, drop off the kids, hurry up, get yourself ready for breakfast, and you got to clock in at 9. So I try to do all of my morning routine before I quote unquote clock in. So dressing up every day, wearing perfume. Oh, I love wearing perfume. I love wearing perfume. It makes me feel so pretty. It makes me smell good. I like walking and all of a sudden I'll smell my perfume and I'm like, oh, what did I wear today? And I don't remember. And then I think about, then I smell myself. I love it. So perfume, put it on, body spray, something that smells good, that makes you feel good. Okay. So then I did a lot of self-development books, and I don't want to go into all these recommendations unless y'all want me to. I might do it for the membership, but this one book I want y'all to read. It's your homework. Why Men Love Bitches. It is such a good book. It's an amazing read. And if you are on your self-development journey, you have to read it. It's a must read. Another book, this is my last recommendation, is the 4 contracts. Y'all have to read that. Have to. Here's another thing that I did. I think really when I started doing this one was when I felt like my life changed when I started practicing gratitude. So practicing gratitude, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram right now because I post stuff every day on my stories and I post a lot of information on there. So go follow me on Instagram at Big Butts No Lies Podcast. Anyway, so on Instagram, if you see my stories, you'll see where I've taken some pictures with the word gratitude that I handwrite on my finger every day. And I do it to remind myself to be grateful. And like, I'm going to give you guys an example of something that I had to reframe how I thought about it. And that's really what I try to do most of the day. Like if something bad happens, I always try to reframe it, or if something, I have to do something that I don't want to do, I try to reframe it so that I feel motivated to do it. So one of those things was for my kids, when I take them to school, I've thought before, like, I hate that we have to wake up so early. It's such a pain in the butt to wake up early and have to take them to school. Now that I don't have to, leave my house super early because I have to be at work and clock in by a certain time. Now that I can kind of work at my own pace, I'm like, I wish I could sleep in. So that was my thinking before. And when I reframed my thinking about this situation, I thought to myself, instead of looking at it like that, why don't you look at it like you are so lucky and blessed that your kids are healthy. They're here with you. They have all of their hearing. They have all of their mental capability. They're smart. They're healthy. They talk too much. They get on your nerves because they talk too much, but they can talk. And there's mothers out there that don't have all of that. Thank God that you have a home. I really talk to myself like this, you guys. I like constantly, I'm always talking to myself like this. So, thank God you have a home where you can have your kids, a car that you can take your kids to school in. Thank God that you have the freedom to be able to be here. You have the health to be here with your kids and take them to school, which is a privilege. That's all I wanted when I was working. All I wanted was to be able to spend more time with my kids. So I have to just continuously rephrase how I think about things. So instead of looking at the dishes and thinking I hate washing dishes, which I really do. But now I make myself do it because I'm like, thank God I have food on my table, food in the refrigerator to cook, to have dishes in the sink. Thank God I'm able to, I have all my hands, I have my fingers, I have I haven't lost my mental capability, but I can do it. I can provide for my children and I can take care of them. And as soon as I started really changing my mind frame around things like that, that's when my life changed, honestly. Thank God I have, this issue or this, complaint, because it means also that I have all of these other great, amazing things happening for me. So for example, when I left my coordinating position, there is no way that you can be a coordinator for a doctor's office and work from home. We tried it during the pandemic. It's difficult because you need to meet your patients in person. You need to see them. You need to talk to them. The doctor needs to do their physical exam. It's hard. So I knew that if I left, I was going to have to find a job doing something different, doing something away from an office. And I don't think I realized it back then, but thank God that, I needed to have a change. If I hadn't had that change or needed that change, I would have still been loving my job and working as a coordinator, but Big Butts No Lies would have never happened. So reframing how you think about things can change your life. It really can. And if you're thinking, I'm going to tell y'all what somebody told me this right before I began all of my divorce proceedings, because I was afraid. Of course, I was going to be a single mom. Am I going to make it? How am I going to do it? What's going to happen with my kids? All of these uncertainties. And I knew in the bottom of my heart that I did want to get divorced, but there was still a lot of fear involved in it. So I had a meeting with somebody and they told me, the step won't appear until you take the step off the cliff. And she was like, your next step won't come up. It won't present itself until you take the leap. And that has always stuck with me. And so she was 100% right, because I took the step off the mountain and there was a whole other mountain for me, which has been amazing. Okay. So practicing gratitude. So I suggest, and I recommend, 10 out of 10 recommend, practicing gratitude will change your life, you guys. I promise you, it will change your life. Okay. Another thing I did was learn a new skill. So working on myself meant learning a new skill because I was tired of doing what I had been doing. I was tired of being in the position that I was in, doing the things that I had been doing. Although all of those things were great and fun and I did enjoy it, I was past that time of my life. So I had to learn a new skill. So then when I was thinking, okay, well, what skill am I going to learn? I would have never thought that skill would end up being podcasting, but it turned out to be my new skill became podcasting. And my new skill gave me the ability to chase my dreams, which is everything that has to do with big butts, no lies. So learn a new skill. 10 out of 10 recommend learn a new skill. And if you're joining the membership, I'm going to have you guys during your recovery learn a new skill, because I am tired of y'all in those Facebook groups. You kill me. You guys kill me because y'all are like, oh my God, I'm not in enough pain. Oh, she looks more bruised than me. Maybe my surgeon didn't do enough. Oh my God, you guys. It's too much. It's too much. Another thing I want to tell you guys before I go into the scar therapy treatment is I changed the music that I listened to. Hear me out. I got the Faja doctor hooked on it now too. So I was on TikTok maybe a year ago, and they were talking about, there was a video about how music can change, can affect your whole mood, your mentality, what you feel, how you think about things. Like it can really take an impact on you, and the vibrations can bring you down. So I was like, man, that makes sense. There was a video showing about how different plants got shown different music and how they grew differently, and that different cups of water were told different things, one positive, one negative. And the negative one got something happened to it, like it got mold or something. I think it was rice or something like that. But those types of videos I saw on TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, all of that makes sense. Like, why would we listen to music that is talking down to us? Right. So I changed the music that I listened to. Now I listen to a different type of music, which at first totally feels weird because the lyrics is not what you're used to. The lyrics are different. They're motivational, affirmation type of music. I listen to a playlist on Spotify. It's called I'm Thriving. And you guys, I literally thrive ever since I started listening to that music. Anyway, so imagine the woman you want to be. Draw her down on a piece of paper. What does she do? What does she do for a living? What does she wear? What kind of perfume does she wear? Does she wear jewelry? Does she wear athletic wear? Does she wear suits? Does she wear heels? Like for me, my dream woman wears whatever she wants to wear, but she wears heels, and wearing heels makes her feel beautiful. So I wear heels any chance I get. So imagine your beautiful woman, dream woman, and who she is and what types of things she does. Like my beautiful woman took care of plants. And you guys, I had to change the story that I tell myself about who I am, because I used to tell myself that I did not have a green thumb. I told myself that all the time. Like, I can't do that. I don't have a green thumb. I kill plants. Like plants don't survive around me. And thank God I had a plant that didn't die, and I actually started taking care of it because I changed the story of why do I not have a green thumb? Why? What? I'm a nurturing person. Why would I not be able to nurture a plant? Right. So I changed the story of myself and I told myself, I can take care of a plant. Look, this one didn't even die. This one didn't even die. So I can take care of plants. So try new things is the last thing I'm going to tell y'all. Try new things and take risks. All of that is a must. Okay, so now let me get to the real part of the real reason why y'all are here. Okay, tummy tuck scar treatments. The tummy tuck scar treatments, I'm going to give you guys just general information. Use it, take it. If you want me to help you with your scar, if you need kind of guidance on what to do for your scar, send me a DM on Instagram with a picture and I'll help you. What I want us to really understand with all of this is that no matter where they cut you, what they cut you with, if your skin is cut, you're going to have a scar. There's nothing that we can do about it. You're going to have it. There's things that we can do to help the scar appearance and turn it into what you would call a good scar. So I want to talk to you guys about what is a good scar, quotation marks, good scar. A good scar is flat, pale, and narrow. You will not see the final result of your scar until you get to 1 year or more. So if you're looking at your scar at 6 months and you're really not happy with it, you have time for it to still remodel and change. It can still change and lay flatter and thinner and get almost invisible. So you can get there. What can cause a bad looking scar? That's a good question. Genetics, handling of tissue during surgery, suture technique, tension on the incision line, care for the overall incision, and sun exposure. Let's talk about the different stages of a scar. So you have your inflammatory stage. So that's like the first few days where it's closing. Then that incision line is closing. And then you have your proliferative stage. And that stage usually lasts between 4 to 21 days. The last stage you have is your remodeling stage. And that's the stage where you can really start to see how your scar is going to mature. And that can take from 21 days to a year. The next most common question after what can cause a bad looking scar, or how do I know how am I going to scar, is when can I start scar treatment? So once your incision is closed and healed, you can ask your doctor if you can start your scar treatment at about 4 to 6 weeks. Always ask your doctor. Follow your doctor's orders. They might have a specific way that they like to do it. Don't change up their recipe. Remember, if you've done your homework, you trust them and you want to ensure that your scar looks how your doctor wants it to look. So another thing I want to talk to you guys about is realistic expectations with the scar. Yes, there is beautiful scars out there. Tummy tuck scars. I have my tummy tuck scar is beautiful, pale, and most of it. But I have one little spot where I can tell maybe there was honestly, you guys, I don't even remember anymore, but I think there was something like a stitch that wouldn't dissolve underneath it. So it looks kind of darker than the rest of the skin around it. But does it bother me? No. Has anybody complained about it? No. So let's be realistic about the scars. We're going to have them. We can do as much as we can to make them flat, pale, and narrow, but they're still going to be there. At the end of the day, there's still a scar. And you have to go into the surgery knowing that you could have a scar that does not look how you imagined it could look. Does the benefit outweigh the scar? In my opinion, it does. Because I wouldn't be able to wear any of the stuff that I wear now if I didn't have that scar. So for me, 10 out of 10 recommend. In my case, it was the best decision. So let me talk to you guys about different types of scars. So we have your hypertrophic scars, which are raised, harder. They're not a keloid scar, but they could be confused for a keloid scar. A keloid scar is very similar to a hypertrophic scar. And you see those more like on earlobes or scars. They get very thick. There's different ways to treat keloid scars. If you have history, make sure to mention it to your surgeon so they can do treatment or preventative treatment on your incision so that you don't get a thick scar. Okay, so let's talk about what options we have for treatments. So you have your silicone sheets. The silicone sheets help with the flat and pale and narrow part. The pressure of the silicone sheets helps the scar lay flat. So I do like the silicone sheets. I do like the biocornium. Biocornium is probably my favorite silicone cream. There's also a product called Embrace. So if your tummy tuck incision is something that you're like super scared of, and you want it to be as tiny and invisible as possible, go ahead and get the Embrace sheets, because what they do is they like keep the pressure, the tension off your incision. So what makes your incision widen is tension, where it's getting pulled, and so it gets thicker. So Embrace tummy tuck scar treatment. There you go. Scar treatment options: tape during your surgery. Ask your surgeon if he's going to close you up with any Perineo tape or steri strips. What is he going to put over your incision? And ask him if you can use the Embrace. Okay, you can also do red light therapy. So let's talk about some treatments that you can do on your scars after 1 year. So don't try to do anything to your scar initially that might make it overcompensate. For example, I know I've seen a lot of people do dermal rollers. I don't know how soon you can start doing that. We do recommend microneedling in the office whenever we see somebody with a thick scar that they want, or a scar that they want almost invisible. We'll recommend microneedling sessions, but I don't know how soon y'all are doing that. I would totally ask my doctor before I do any dermal rollers on my tummy tuck scars. After a year, you can do laser resurfacing treatments like Halo. You can do light-based treatments like red light to reduce redness and hyperpigmentation, and they really do help. So if your scar is something that really concerns you, there's options to make it be less. So what are some recommendations that I have for you to take care of your tummy tuck or your plastic surgery scars? My number one tip is definitely going to be, don't pick at it while you are scabbing. If you have tape, if you have anything over it, do not pick at it. Let the scab fall off on its own when it's ready. Let the tape fall off on its own when it's ready. Don't pick at it. If you feel any spots on your incision, once your incision is closed and you get the okay from your doctor to start massages on your incision scar, if you have areas that are thick, you can massage them to try to flatten them out. And you just imagine like a piece of dough, like you're trying to just roll it out. Just roll it out. You can massage it with bruise juice, but it has vitamin E in it, and vitamin E helps your scar. So when you're doing your massages on your scar, use your bruise juice because it helps. Massage your scars, protect them from the sun. Please, you guys, protect your scars from the sun. Don't come to me and tell me that you got a darker scar and I see pictures on your Instagram where you're laid out at the beach with nothing on your scars. Put your sunblock on, wear a UVA, UVB protective swimsuit. I would say for the first year, keep your scars protected. Anytime you're going out to being out with your fresh under 1 year old incisions, wear a zinc protective SPF, cover it with a bathing suit, and don't stay out in the sun for too long. What are some things that you can eat during your recovery that help your scar? So I did some research. I found some foods that are good for y'all to eat during your recovery: spinach, avocado, broccoli, parsley, kale, cabbage, turmeric, ginger, and walnuts. Good stuff for you to eat during your recovery. You want to up your protein, up your vitamin Bs, and your omega-3s. Okay, so what do y'all think about that episode? I know I went on a little bit of a tangent earlier, but you guys, I want you to be happy after you get your plastic surgery. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with what you see. And Sometimes our surgery wish list is 10 procedures long, and we have to be happy with only getting 1 or 2. We have to still love ourselves and accept ourselves for the women, the beautiful, powerful, smart, kind, thoughtful, and generous women that we are, and just love ourselves a little bit more. I know we struggle. I'm including myself. I struggle, but every day I try and I try and I try and I just keep trying, and I do it for my kids. I do it for my daughter because I want my daughter to be a strong, confident woman. And she has to see me being a strong, confident woman in front of her. I have to, what is that saying? Like my mom used to tell me when I was little, no hagas lo que digo, no hagas lo que hago, haz lo que digo. Like my mom would tell me, don't do what I do what I say. And I know that that's not how it works. Kids do what they see. So I want my daughter to see me being a strong, confident woman so she can learn to be a strong, confident woman. And that's what I want for all of us, to be strong, confident women. And I do want to end on this note. On TikTok, there has been a lot of talk about getting out of hustle culture for women and for women to embrace a slower paced life. And I've been trying to do that. I have been trying to, slow the pace of my life. And I know we all kind of live with this sense of urgency, like, oh my God, everything is important. Everything has to be done now. Everything is, priority, especially as moms, because we're not just juggling like our own personal responsibility. We're handling the personal responsibility of our kids and their schedules and what they got to do. So it can be very, very overwhelming. And I have, learned to slow down the pace a little bit. And I'm trying to find my spirituality and my peace. And I want you guys to experience that too. I want all of us to be able to live our best, most amazing lives. And I did want to tell you guys about rephrasing the situation and practicing gratitude has completely changed my life. And I think it can change yours. If you start practicing gratitude and start every day just waking up and being thankful for being awake, being alive, having a job, having coworkers to bitch about, having a job, having, your parents alive, having people around you that love you, all of these things that we just take for granted. We just take it for granted. Remove negativity out of your life and embrace your new scars. Nobody is looking at them as much as you. You're the only one that really notices them. Honestly, other people, when they look at you, they probably don't even notice them. Your tummy tuck scar, you're only showing it during intimacy. And if you're during intimacy in that, or I guess not, I guess other people are showing their scars whenever. But I know for me personally, I was only showing it in intimacy. And by then, like, if you can't show this other person your scar, then why are you showing them you? So you want to embrace that new you, embrace that scar. I've seen women get tattoo cover up, which is beautiful. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let's talk about this. What do we think about the tattoo cover up on the tummy tuck scars? Is it a giveaway or is it like a cover up? Like, do people not really, can they not tell? I don't know. Let's talk about it. But I'm so excited, you guys, to have the membership rolling out. I cannot wait to just grow it and nurture it and baby it and take all of you guys with me on this journey of growth, being and embracing ourselves and loving ourselves for everything that we are, and getting a little pick me up whenever we need to, and making a little bit of adjustments as we go, but always loving ourselves and picking ourselves. Y'all know that that video on Instagram that's going around from Grey's Anatomy? Pick me, love me. That's what I need y'all to do for yourself. Pick me, love me. So anyways, that's the end of this episode. I hope y'all like my solo episodes. I feel like sometimes I ramble, but I love y'all and I will see you guys next week.
I would like to end this episode with a huge thank you to all of our listeners. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to subscribe to Big Butts No Lies Podcast and follow us on Instagram at Big Butts No Lies Podcast. If you have a topic you want me to cover, please send it to the DMs. If you know anyone on their plastic surgery journey, be sure to recommend them the show. You can also visit us on our website, bigbuttsnolies.com. You'll see the online surgical recovery store. We're adding new items all the time. If there's something you think I need to have on there, send me a DM. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, new episodes every Monday. I'll see you then.